Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here, taking this time for yourself. As you settle in now, know that you are safe, you are supported, and it is perfectly okay to let go. Find a comfortable position, whether you're lying down or sitting gently. Allow your body to be held by whatever surface is beneath you. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. This is your time to rest, to release, to simply be. Let's begin by closing your eyes. And as your eyes gently close, notice how the darkness feels welcoming. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension. Again, breathe in deeply and out, letting go. One more time. Breathe in peace and breathe out everything else. Beautiful. Now allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. You don't need to control it anymore. Just let it flow in and out. As you breathe, begin to notice the feeling of heaviness in your body. Your body is becoming heavier and heavier, sinking down deeper into comfort. Tonight, we're going to relax every part of you completely, deeply. Bring your awareness now to the very top of your head. Notice your scalp, your forehead, and as you focus there, imagine a warm, golden light beginning to glow. This gentle light is relaxation itself. Feel it melting away any tightness, any tension. Your forehead becomes smooth, soft, completely at ease. The golden light moves down to your eyes. Your eyelids are so very heavy. All the muscles around your eyes releasing, softening. Your jaw unclenches. Let your tongue rest gently in your mouth. Your lips part slightly. All facial muscles letting go. Feel the heaviness, the beautiful heaviness of complete relaxation flows down into your neck, which holds so much, can finally relax. Feel the muscles softening, releasing down into your shoulders now. Your shoulders dropping down away from your ears. All that weight, all that tension just melting away. The relaxation spreads down both arms, your upper arms becoming heavy, your elbows, your forearms down to your wrists, your hands, each finger releasing. Your arms are so heavy now, like they're sinking into clouds. You couldn't lift them, even if you wanted to, and you don't want to. Feel the golden light warming your chest, your heart beating gently, peacefully, your breath flowing so easily, so naturally, down to your stomach, your belly, soft and relaxed, your lower back, releasing any tightness, your entire torso, held and supported, completely at rest. The relaxation moves down into your hips, your pelvis, down both legs now, your thighs so heavy, your knees, your calves, all the way down to your ankles, your feet, even your toes, releasing, letting go. Your entire body is now deeply relaxed. Feel the complete heaviness from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. You are safe, you are comfortable, and you are ready to drift even deeper into peace. Take a moment now to notice how relaxed you feel. Your body so heavy, so comfortable, sinking deeper and deeper into the surface beneath you. With each breath, you relax a little more. Your muscles have let go of all tension. Your mind is beginning to quiet. Thoughts that were racing are slowing down, drifting away like clouds passing by. You don't need to hold on to any thoughts. Just let them drift and pass Your only task now is to rest, to relax, to let go completely as you rest here in this deep, peaceful state. Begin to notice a feeling of lightness, even though your body feels so heavy. There's also a sense of floating, as if you could drift away on the gentlest breeze. This is the feeling of complete relaxation. Your body so heavy, so grounded, yet your mind so light, so free. You're hovering in that perfect space between waking and sleeping. Everything is peaceful. Everything is calm. Imagine now that you're surrounded by the softest, most gentle darkness. This darkness is not scary. It's comforting, like a warm blanket wrapping around you. Within this darkness, you feel completely safe, completely protected. The temperature around you is perfect. Not too warm, not too cool, just right. You're cocooned in comfort, held gently by peace itself. Every part of you is at ease. Your breathing has become so slow, so gentle. Each breath in brings peace. Each breath out releases you deeper into rest. You might notice that your breaths are getting softer, quieter. This is your body preparing for sleep. Feel yourself sinking deeper, deeper still into relaxation, into peace. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. This moment is all that exists, and in this moment you are completely at peace. Let yourself melt into this feeling, surrendering more fully with each passing moment. Your body knows how to rest. Your mind knows how to let go. Trust. In this process, you are safe. You are held as you drift in this peaceful space. imagine a soft glow beginning to appear far in the distance. It's gentle, not bright, just a subtle, peaceful light. This light brings even more calm, even more peace. You feel yourself drawn toward it, drifting gently, effortlessly. As you move closer, you realize this light is pure warmth, pure comfort. It welcomes you, embraces you. Within this light, you feel even more relaxed, even more at peace. All around you is softness, gentleness. You're floating, suspended, in perfect tranquility. There's nothing to disturb you here, nothing to worry about. Time has no meaning. Past and future have fallen away. There is only this moment, this peace, this rest, and it is exactly what you need. Feel the warmth all around you. It's like being wrapped in the softest embrace. You are held. You are safe. You are loved. Every cell in your body is relaxing, healing, renewing. Your mind is so quiet now. Thoughts have drifted away like leaves floating down a gentle stream. What remains is only stillness, peace, calm. This is your place, your sanctuary, a place of rest, a place of healing. You can return here whenever you need. This peace is always available, always within you as you rest here, floating, peaceful, calm. Know that everything is well. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are exactly where you need to be. Let yourself sink even deeper now, deeper into this peace, deeper into this rest. Your body so heavy, so relaxed. Your mind so quiet, so still. Sleep is coming gently, naturally. You don't need to force it. Just allow it. to come in its own time, and it is coming, drawing closer with each breath as you drift toward sleep. I want you to know some important truths. You are worthy of rest. You are deserving of peace. You have done enough for today. Everything that needed to be done has been done. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tonight is for you. Tonight is for rest, for renewal, for deep, healing sleep. Let go of the day behind you. Let go of any thoughts about tomorrow. This moment is all that exists, and in this moment, you are completely at peace. If any thoughts arise, simply notice them like clouds passing through the sky. You don't need to hold onto them. Just let them drift by. Return your focus to your breath, to this peace, to rest. Your body is healing. As you rest, every cell is renewing, restoring. Your mind is releasing all it carried today. Sleep is coming naturally, easily. You are drifting deeper and deeper into restful slumber, so peaceful, so calm, so ready for sleep, so heavy now, so relaxed, so ready to sleep. I'm grateful you took this time for yourself tonight. You've created space for rest, for peace, for healing. And now it's time to let go completely. Time to surrender to the gentle embrace of sleep. The night is yours. Peace will watch over you. Drift now. Drift into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. Sleep now. Deep, restful sleep. You are safe. You are peaceful. Let go. Sleep. Rest. Peace. Deep sleep. That wasn't hers to tend. She opened her eyes slowly. The ceiling of her bedroom looked the same as always. White paint. A small crack in the corner that she'd been meaning to fix for years. The The morning light coming through the curtains was soft, gentle, the kind of light that says, "Take your time. There's no rush." But something felt different. And then she remembered. The lighthouse was dark. Someone else's responsibility now. Or rather, no one's responsibility. It had been shut down, decommissioned. The light that had burned for over 100 years was out. Margaret sat up slowly. Her knees ached a little. They always did in the mornings. She placed her feet on the cool wooden floor, and she sat there for a moment, just sat, listening. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Usually by now, she'd have been awake for an hour. She'd have checked the weather, made her coffee, driven to the lighthouse, climbed those 163 steps, made sure everything was working properly. Even though it was all automated, even though it didn't really need her, she'd still gone every morning for decades. But not today. Today, for the first time in longer than she could remember, she had nowhere to be. Margaret stood, walked to the window, and looked out. The ocean. She could see it from here. Her little house sat on a hill overlooking the water. She'd lived here her whole life. This view. She knew it better than anything, better than her own reflection. The sun was just beginning to rise. The sky was that particular shade of pink and orange that only happens in November. The clouds were scattered, like someone had painted them there with a soft brush. And there, in the distance, she could see it. The lighthouse. White stone, red roof, silent and still against the morning sky. Margaret's chest tightened, just a little. She turned away from the window, got dressed, slowly. There was no hurry. She pulled on her favorite sweater, the gray one with the loose threads at the cuffs, made her way to the kitchen. The kitchen smelled like wood and coffee, even before she made any. That's just how old houses smell, like all the mornings that came before. She filled the kettle, set it on the stove, listened to the click of the gas igniting, watched the blue flame appear. While she waited for the water to boil, Margaret stood at the counter, her hands resting on the cool surface, and she thought about what people do when they retire. Some people travel. She'd heard that. Cruise ships, Europe, tropical islands. Some people take up hobbies, gardening, painting, knitting. Some people spend time with grandchildren. Margaret didn't have grandchildren. Sarah had never wanted children, and that was okay. That was Sarah's choice. But it meant there was no one waiting for Margaret, no one who needed her. The kettle began to whistle. She poured the water over the coffee grounds. The smell filled the kitchen, rich, familiar, comforting. Margaret carried her mug to the small table by the window, the same table she'd sat at every morning for years. The wood was worn smooth. There was a ring stain from where her father used to set his mug. She'd never been able to get it out. She'd stopped trying years ago. She sat, sipped her coffee, and looked out at the ocean. The sun was higher now. The light had changed. It was brighter, sharper. The water was turning from gray to blue. She could see the waves rolling in, one after another, the same way they always had, the same way they always would. Margaret wondered what the waves thought about all of this. If they thought at all, did they notice that the lighthouse was dark? Did they care? Probably not. The ocean didn't need the lighthouse. The ocean had been here long before the lighthouse was built. It would be here long after the lighthouse crumbled. That thought should have been comforting. The permanence of the sea, the way some things just continue, no matter what. But instead, it made Margaret feel small. She finished her coffee, stood, washed the mug, dried it, put it back in the cupboard, and then she stood in the middle of her kitchen, wondering what to do next. Usually by now, she'd be at the lighthouse, checking the equipment, making notes in the log. Even though no one read the log anymore, she'd still kept it, out of habit, out of respect. But there was no log to fill out now, no equipment to check, no reason to drive to the lighthouse, except she wanted to. Margaret grabbed her jacket, the same one she'd worn last night. She could still smell the salt air on it, the oil from the lamp. She walked out to her truck. The gravel crunched under her feet. The air was cool, clean. It tasted like the sea. She got in, started the engine, and drove. The road to the lighthouse was so familiar, she could have driven it with her eyes closed. Every curve, every pothole, every place where the trees hung low over the road. 5 minutes later, she pulled into the parking lot. The lighthouse stood before her, exactly as she'd left it. But somehow, it looked different, smaller maybe, or lonelier. Margaret got out of the truck, walked to the door. Her hand reached for the key in her pocket, and then she stopped. She wasn't supposed to be here. The lighthouse wasn't hers anymore. Technically, she wasn't allowed to go inside. The town council had made that clear. But she still had the key. Margaret looked around. There was no one here, no one to see, no one to tell her she couldn't. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The familiar smell greeted her, stone and oil and time. She closed the door behind her and just stood there in the dim light, listening. The lighthouse was so quiet. No hum of machinery, no sound of the light turning, just silence. Margaret walked to the stairs, and she began to climb. Step 17, where she'd carved her initials. Step 43, where she'd sat crying. Step 91, where her daughter had asked if she was lonely. She climbed all 163 steps. slower than she used to, but she made it. At the top, she pushed open the door to the lantern room. The windows were covered in a thin layer of dust. The lamp stood in the center, dark, cold. Margaret walked to the western window, the one that faced the ocean, and she looked out. From up here, you could see everything. The entire coastline, the town in the distance, the harbor, the fishing boats heading out for the day. The sun was fully up now. The sky was blue. The ocean sparkled. Margaret stood there for a long time, just looking. She thought about all the sunrises she'd watched from this very spot, all the storms, all the ships, all the nights she'd kept the light burning. And she thought about her grandfather, Thomas. "The light saves lives," he used to say. But what happens when the light goes out? What happens to the keeper when there's nothing left to keep? Margaret didn't have an answer to that. She turned away from the window, and that's when she saw it. On the floor, near the base of the lamp, a piece of paper. She walked over, picked it up. It was a note, written in handwriting she didn't recognize. It said, "Thank you. You saved my life last night. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I wanted you to know. The light guided me home. I won't forget. A grateful sailor." Margaret stared at the note, her hands trembling slightly. Last night, the fishing boat, the one she'd seen in the fog, he'd left this note somehow. Maybe he'd come ashore, climbed up, left it here. She read it again. "You saved my life." Margaret pressed the note to her chest, and she closed her eyes. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. The weight of it, the gratitude, the proof that what she'd done mattered. One more life, one more person, home safe. She folded the note carefully, put it in her pocket, next to the key, and then she walked to the window again, and she looked out at the ocean. The waves were still rolling in, the same as always, the same as they would tomorrow, and the day after that. The lighthouse might be dark, but the ocean would keep moving. The tides would keep turning. The sun would keep rising. And Margaret, she would keep going too. Maybe she didn't have the lighthouse anymore. Maybe she wasn't a keeper anymore. But she'd kept the light burning when it mattered. And someone had made it home because of her. That was enough. Margaret stood there, in the quiet, in the light, and she smiled. The lighthouse keeper's dawn wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. A new chapter, a new day, and She was ready. She walked back down the stairs, all 163 steps, through the doorway, out into the morning air. She locked the door behind her, and she walked to her truck. But before she got in, she turned, and she looked back at the lighthouse. It stood there, strong, silent, beautiful. "Thank you," Margaret whispered. And then she got in her truck and she drove home. The road was the same as always. The trees, the curves, the potholes. But somehow, everything felt different. When she got home, Margaret made another cup of coffee, and she sat at the table by the window. She took the note out of her pocket, unfolded it, read it again. "You saved my life." She would keep this note, maybe frame it, hang it somewhere she could see it. A reminder that what she'd done mattered, that she mattered. Margaret looked out the window, at the ocean, at the lighthouse in the distance. And she thought maybe tomorrow she'd go for a walk on the beach. She hadn't done that in years. Too busy, always rushing to the lighthouse. But now she had time to walk, to breathe, to simply be. Time to discover what comes next. The lighthouse was dark, but Margaret was just beginning to see the light. She sipped her coffee, slowly, savoring it. The morning stretched out before her, full of possibility, full of peace. And somewhere, out on the ocean, the waves kept rolling in and out, in and out. The same rhythm, the same song, the same eternal dance. And Margaret breathed with them, in and out, in and out, safe, peaceful, home, the lighthouse keeper's dawn, a new beginning, a gentle start, and everything was exactly as it should be. Sleep now. Rest easy. You are safe. You are home. Everything is well. Good night.